that wonderful symphony could only mean one thing. This is Let's Talk, getting to the root causes of important issues of the day and ideas and topics of interest. This on-the-air community forum believes your voice matters and welcomes all thoughts and views without judgment. Please join today's conversation by calling 415-663-8492 or 8317. And in the studio today, Shelley Rugg.
Hello.
At the controls.
Very nice job.
Stephen Hurwitz.
Thank you, Stephen.
Hello there.
Speaking perfectly into the microphone.
Yes. Sticking my nose in at this time.
And I'm Paul Raffel. And every Thursday at this time, we talk about, we choose a topic to discuss and hope that people listening will call in with their views, their opinions, their experiences, and their
thoughts, their feelings.
And this week, because it's Pledge Drive week here at KWMR, we thought we'd do a little show about generosity. And
very nice.
You know, why not? To inspire generosity in our listeners, because this week until the 31st, we're trying to raise some money through donations from listeners to keep this station on the air.
You know, I think this is a very generous community, too.
It is a generous community. It has been in the past, but there's a lot of things to give to, and we happen to think that this is one of the most important causes you could donate to. And the phone number, if you would like to call the station and call and talk to Crater Pullen, who is waiting for your call, the number there is 415-663-9050.
Yes, and we have a goal for this hour to raise $1,000, and I think we can do it because of our generous community.
We have 3 very generous challenge grants, which means if you match the grant, we get double your money. So if we can raise $100, we'll get another $100 from Sally Phillips.
How can you pass on that?
Might have heard of her. And if we get another $100, we'll get an extra $100 from the lovely Cynthia Harland of Marshall. Thank you, Cynthia. How wonderful. And we also have an anonymous challenge grant for another $100. So if you call in or go online, you can always do it online at any time, but it's more fun to talk to people here and or come into the station and give us a check. You know, we're up for anything. We'll take any money. If we raise $300 in donations during this show, that will actually equal $600 towards our $1,000 goal.
Yeah, and then we only need one person to send us another $400, and bam!
Or just send us $1,000. What the heck?
Well, we take chickens.
You know what? I've been a member of the Calendar Club for quite a while, and I just upped my Calendar Club donation to $15 a month. It was $10, and it's a super painless way to provide some sustainable revenues for the station. Yes,
the Calendar Club actually counts towards, that would be at the minimum if you do the $10 a month. That counts towards the $100 goal, the $1,000 goal. So that's $120. So
right.
It's a great way to do it and to start giving every month to keep this station going, supplying you with entertainment, interesting talk shows, music, and most importantly, perhaps, emergency information. We are the first one that gets called when there's something going on, like a fire or a road closure or tsunami coming or an earthquake or any natural or man-made disasters, large or small. The local authorities call KWMR, and we actually have a red telephone in the studio, the emergency line, for them to call so that we can get the news out to you immédiatement.
Yes, very important.
So, 415-663-9050 is the number to call to donate. And if you want to talk to us about generosity, I don't know what we can say about generosity, but I'm going to give you. I'm going to.
We can think of something.
Create something here. We
Yes.
have definitions of it, and what is the dark side of generosity?
Oh.
415-663-9050, and then once you've donated, call in to join the conversation. 415-663-8492.
Oh.
Thank you.
That was just
dramatic.
so exciting.
That was dramatic.
Yes. Well, speaking of exciting, I just noticed here that if you are a Calendar Club member, all you have to do is increase your monthly amount by $2, and you can have a bandana designed by Jaime Crespo.
You know, that sounds great. I
That's
got the
a really great
socks
deal.
earlier.
You got the socks.
I got to find out about that bandana. How much for the bandana?
Well, if you're a Calendar Club member and you increase your monthly amount by at least $2, you can get the bandana, or you can donate $30.
$30 pledge, or and the socks are for a $50 pledge.
Oh, the socks are back.
Socks. Yes,
I have the socks.
The socks are cute.
KWMR radio socks. Do they have little antennae in them? Is that what makes them radio socks?
They have radios
Yeah, they're
all over them.
Oh.
They're super cute.
Super
Here's some
cute.
right in front of you, right there.
You know, I wanted to mention that
Well, they are super cute.
there's a warning
very
here
nice.
that
What do we got? What do we got?
if we don't,
Oh, okay.
that's fine. If we don't reach our goal, we're going to bring in Cynthia Marcucci is going to come in.
I
What
don't
does
know
that
who that is.
mean? That went over our head.
Oh, gee, forget it.
does
Is that
mean?
from some other station?
That's KQED.
Yeah, see, who
She's-
listens to KQED when they have KWMR? Come on now.
She's been a stalwart there for a generation.
So we have many people to thank from the previous show. Let's see. This is thank you, Doug Apatow. I think we've already thanked Doug, but thank you, Doug. That's very wonderful. You're a new Calendar Club member. Yes, painless. It's painless. It's a monthly little donation comes out of your credit or bank account, and you won't even notice. It's so much better value than, for example, BritBox or even perhaps Hulu. Because, and even Netflix these days is not, I mean, they have some great series, but
that's great
their
because
stock of movies is
Slim
deplorable
pickings,
these days.
yeah.
Anyway,
Well, we have a stream of income that we can count on with that. That's
Yeah.
The Calendar
Yes.
Club is
the
a
Calendar
great
Club
way.
is a wonderful way to do it because then the station knows exactly what's coming in. At least that amount. And we want to thank Min Ades and Pat Holt, who were just on the air.
Nice.
And, and Jen McFarland. Well, thank you so much. That's lovely. Thank you, all of you, for your contributions. Thank you for keeping us going. And thank you for... you're all intimately connected with the station. Let's have someone who is not so intimately connected... Rather, just a listener. Just a listener.
Oh.
What does that mean? Not
We're
just,
nothing without listeners.
I don't say just as in merely. I mean, you are you're on the outside, but you're on the inside with us because we're talking into your ears. It's 415-663-9050 is the number to call.
And talk about generosity.
Okay, generosity. Here we are. Here's a quote from a website. I don't know who wrote this, but anyway. Real generosity is sharing that which you do want. Yes, let me start here. Some think they are being generous when, in front of cameras or with a promise of much publicity, they donate to a charity. That's not generosity, that's buying publicity. In this case, however, no one knows who you are until we read your name out. And if you don't want anyone to know that you've given, that's fine too. Others think that clearing out things they no longer want or never wanted in the first place and giving them to others is being generous. In this writer's opinion, that too is not real generosity, although it's certainly better than just throwing those things away. Real generosity is sharing that which you do want and the things you actually need with others who need them also.
I question that, by the way.
And it isn't just things. Generosity can mean teaching others others the things you know, even when they can't afford to pay you for doing so.
Well, what are your thoughts, Stephen?
Well, passing on something valuable to that is no longer valuable to you, who might be valuable to someone else. I think that's generous, personally.
That's recycling. It's good. Yeah.
Well, you don't have to do that.
You don't have to. You could just throw it away. But then if it had some value for you in the past, why would you throw it away? You'd want someone else to enjoy it. But
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, okay. You could call that generosity. This person, whoever it is, it's on a site. Well,
why limit it?
Anyway,
why
generosity? But it's about giving. It's like the Pacific Islanders' culture in the old days. They used to give freely of things that they had. They didn't have very much, but what they had, they would give freely to anyone, to a stranger, to visitors, to other people.
Are you going to discount all the gifts to the thrift store? I just don't. It's
just someone trying to analyze what generosity really means at the core, I think. And so if you look at really deeply into the act of generosity, perhaps you could have thrown those things in the trash, but you're not throwing them in the trash for what reason?
Well, how does generosity different from just doing good?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, how does it differ? Is it intention?
Doing good.
Doing good's on the list.
Yeah, doing good.
It's on the list.
But doing good, does that not imply a little bit of not expecting anything in return? Or does it?
Not necessarily. No, it can be both.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Fine. Well, so here's the thing. Generosity, when donated to this station, you get an incredible jewel of a local community radio station. Hard to find these days because they're all getting shut down as the funding dries up.
Donations are a win-win, really. People enjoy giving.
Yeah. Well, yes, that's...
So, I mean, if you enjoy it, you're giving, you're helping the radio station, and you can get that hit besides that, hey, I helped, I'm part of the community, this is a part of the community. This is one way I can show that I'm part of the community by supporting things like cultural events, cultural foundations, the things that support who we are. And
lovely.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of, our nice little bubble here has a lot of non-profits that people can donate to. So we do appreciate that there are other places that also are doing good things with the money for people and the land. And, but anyway, we're just another one of the good things in West Marin and beyond, because we're online as well. If you want to donate online, that's very easy. Just go KWMR.org and hit the donate button. It will lead you to another page where you can choose exactly what you would like to pledge.
Yeah, and for a $50 pledge, you can become a member of the KWMR Sock Club.
I have the last socks from the last
I am a member. I have socks.
You do?
Yes.
So we should wear our socks next week. We'll have a show and tell.
There you go.
Here's someone, Suze Orman. Isn't she on TV?
She's a money person.
A money person. She says, true generosity is an offering, given freely and out of pure love, no strings attached, no expectations. Time and love are the most valuable possession you can share. See, that's lovely.
Yes. I was thinking about that as I was driving over. It's a spiritual thing. It takes generosity of spirit. A parent is a good example of that. They're, in the best sense, they're giving to their children, and they're not necessarily taking away. They're making their children stronger and more vibrant. I just think that parenthood can be very generous.
Well, it should be. Shall we say that?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, and there's a good feeling that comes, as you said, from
well, I think
doing good deeds.
Even in parenthood, it's the generosity of your personal spirit, that you're giving, the love you're giving that's the most important, I think when we hear the word generosity, we think of money and things sometimes, and certainly, money and things can't replace good parenting and nurturing
love
and all of that.
Freely given.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's community.
There's the idea of paying it forward too. There's some people that just don't have good financial flow, and they would love to be able to be generous with money, but they aren't in that position. So maybe there's people out there that would pay it forward for those in the community who aren't able to donate.
Lovely. 415-663-9050 is the number to call to make a pledge to this wonderful station.
Yeah, meet our challenge grants.
Yes, we have $300 in challenge grants that need to be met, and that will double the money, double the donations, double the fun. And our hard-working staff out there who are, let me say, they are, I don't want to call them penny pinchers, but they are very frugal and very careful with the money that comes to the station, as you can tell from the squeaky chair I'm sitting in. Time for some new chair. Yes, there's not a penny wasted at this non-profit station. And, by the way, tax deductible, so yeah.
There's that.
415-663-9050. And for a pledge of $200, you can, if you desire, you can have a one-person 3-day emergency backpack.
That's pretty awesome.
What's in the backpack?
Look at this. There's a whole page of stuff in there.
Yeah, it's bright red.
Personal one-person basic backpack survival kit for it has emergency food and water with a 5-year shelf life. So you could keep this for 5 years and it would still be good. As a 2,400-calorie food bar, 6 water pouches, 10 water purification tablets. There's a thermal blanket, a poncho with a hood, emergency radio and lighting, a pump LED flashlight. I guess you pump it up, charge it up. A mini AM FM radio with batteries and a 12-hour light stick. There's a 37-piece first aid kit, a pair of vinyl gloves, and there's emergency supplies like a dust mask, a safety whistle, and a tissue pack. I mean, it's
that's really setting someone up.
Chock full for the first 3 days after an emergency when perhaps the roads are all gone or inundated or there's a big crack down the middle of the bay. And our houses have fallen over and there's no power and you can still
just keep painting that picture.
We do well. Hey, we are sitting on the San Andreas fault zone as we speak, and we do have an emergency generator here. So the hope is, and we have the communications truck that Richard Dillman put together, which is available for emergency broadcasting away from the studio. So this station can stay in touch with anybody that has a little emergency radio, a little transistor radio.
And for $100 donation, one can belong to you.
It seems like
that's right.
The station
emergency
becomes
radio.
In an emergency. The station becomes even more important.
Of course,
right.
With that little radio, enables you to.
One of the great driving forces behind the creation of the radio was the fire in Inverness on the Ridge many years ago, in which you couldn't get information because there was no radio station here. There was no local radio station to tell people what was going on. My favorite story, and kind of scary, but thank goodness he had the presence of mind. Charlie Morgan used to live over there, and he could smell smoke. He looked up and he saw flames at the top of the ridge. He called me over in Marshall to tell him what was going on because we could see what was going on in Inverness. People in Inverness could not.
Right.
Nobody knew what was going on. So that was one of the great impetuses to creating this radio station. That's one of its major functions in this community is to stay in touch, let people know what's going on when the roads are closed, for example, and all that.
I think given the population of West Marin, we can support cultural events and cultural activities far beyond a normal population.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think the radio station is one of those extensions of that culture.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to keep it going, I think people do. They can make a donation.
That's right.
415-663-9050. The Crata is waiting patiently at the phone. I can see her. She's got a bit in her mouth and she's chomping on it. Stop that immediately. And,
you made me look, okay.
And she's waiting for a call from you. And we do have, as I say, $300 in challenge grants. So if we can raise those $300 in the next 37 minutes, we will have $600. We'll be $600 closer to the goal of $50,000.
Well,
yes.
for this hour, at least 1,000.
1,000 for this show.
And, just call in. Tell us what your idea about generosity is.
Yes, call into the studio. 415-663-8492.
Yes.
What are your ideas about generosity? Do you consider yourself a generous person?
Who doesn't? How can you...
I don't know. Am I? I'm not sure I am. I'm a calendar club member. I guess that makes me a generous person.
Well, I think we have to look beyond that.
Yes, but not today. Being a calendar club member is a measure of your generosity.
Generosity. Okay, let's think. Maybe we could think of times we've noticed that we were being generous.
I can't think of anything.
Come on, let's see.
Let's see. Oh, well, now.
Yes.
I mean, I have volunteered a couple of times in the past at the Thanksgiving dinner, which is not going to be held this year.
Oh, that's right.
There were... they looked around last year and they discovered that a lot of the people who really... that the Thanksgiving dinner was created for, out of the goodness of the hearts, the generosity of this community, and the people who cook and supply turkeys to the dinner, and volunteer to serve, and carving and all that sort of stuff. They looked around at the people who were at the dinner, and there were people from 30 different towns,
Really?
And there was apparently a lack of people who actually
live
the
here.
thing was designed for, which is local people who are in need and cannot necessarily afford a good dinner at Thanksgiving. And that was the idea behind it.
Yeah.
That was the generous idea behind it. And they give an example in the paper of a person who showed up and said, "Hey, is this free?" And they said yes, and he cancelled his reservation at Sur and Star.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my.
So
I could see that, honestly.
Well, I remember the last one that I attended, the people that were sitting across from us told us they weren't from around here. They specifically came to this event
for a free dinner.
To enjoy the experience of that small town community feeling,
there is that.
So I don't think it was so much about it being free as that, being able to connect with that experience. But then if the locals aren't coming, that's
lovely.
It's not working.
As long as they have a donation bucket at the door and they can put a monetary price on their enjoyment, perhaps a monetary figure.
Yeah, maybe they could change it up and raise money for West Marin Community Services.
Well,
Exactly.
The senior lunch seems to be an ongoing, generous.
Yes, very generous.
Yeah.
Lovely. It's a generous community, let's face it. And let's also face it that a lot of people here can afford to be generous. So we're asking you who can afford to be generous to call 415-663-9050 to pledge on the phone. And as I say, we have $300 that could be doubled with a simple $300 donation. Or we can build up to it, but I'm not hearing the phone ringing, and Greta is wandering around out there.
One of the cool things about this radio station is that it's built on generosity. It functions through generosity.
That's definitely true.
The bulk of the programmers are volunteer, correct?
Yeah, all of them, yeah.
And
I was going to ask for a raise. Are you kidding?
So that's generosity of spirit, the gift of yourself that you bring. And, I listen to KWMR quite a bit. And so I can appreciate the work that people put into coming up with their playlists and having things to talk about, interesting things to go along with what they shared. And the variety on this station is amazing.
It is amazing.
Really tapping the community spirit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of there are several current affairs shows, including this one, but there's also more political news. There's interviews. There's movies, books,
stories, music from Hawaii.
Yes, a very popular show.
Mexico, France.
There's Claude Debussy, the fabulous French ambassador from Marshall.
Oh, I love that guy.
Who appears every Friday
He just melts me in my KWMR radio socks to a little puddle. Good thing I have the socks to wipe it up.
Crater's a little worried about that. She's shocked by that revelation. Melting in your radio socks.
Yes.
So, yes, let's just bring up the dark side.
Oh, that's right. You did mention that. Well, let me just do a station break. You are listening to KWMR in Point Reyes Station, and we hope that you will be very generous today and send us a donation. And we're hoping to raise $1,000 before the hour is over. We have 3 challenge grants of $100 each. So let's get 6 of you. I'm not good at math. I'm sorry.
We know you're out there
to donate $50 and get the socks and join the sock club.
Exactly.
There you go.
You could have a sock convention at the Dance Palace.
That's right. We'll all show up with our socks.
And your $50 donation will join with others and add up to what we need.
Exactly. And we have, of course, generous underwriters.
I actually realized that I read both. There were only 2 underwriters, one for 11 and one at 11:30, and I did them at the same time.
Well, wonderful.
I was caught off guard.
Thank you to all our wonderful underwriters.
That's right.
It's great. There is a whole list of local businesses and people who underwrite this station who are generous.
A show of support.
Continuing support.
Yeah.
Very nice. And
so for the generosity towards the station, what do people get? They get to listen to this.
Get us.
I know. They can call in and be on the air and talk to us about generosity.
How about
415-663-8492.
How about a name tag?
What's
about
that?
KWMR name tag.
What do you mean?
I gave.
Like I voted?
To KWMR.
I donated
that is
to
just
KWMR.
Facetious, by the way.
We want a badge.
415-663-9050 to donate right now. Yay!
Nothing ostentatious, you understand? Just, he gave that others might live. Something like that. Let's just bring up the little dark side. Well, this is mainly about philanthropy on a large scale, though, which has been one of the great excuses for privatization of many things and for taking government money. What is government for, if not to help its people survive?
promote the welfare.
Promote the welfare of its people.
And
yes, the pursuit of happiness. And and things like disaster aid and all that, they're defunding a lot of those programs, giving it to the military, of course. And the military could be trained to be very good at disaster.
I wouldn't expect
amelioration.
Anything the government does would fall into the category of generosity.
No, that's what I'm saying. So what happened was things like ever since the Ford Foundation, who was the first one, though? Carnegie was the first one in America to be a big philanthropist and form a foundation. So supporting arts and music and libraries and information, education, all that. Let's say certainly since the Reagan era, the Reagan-Thatcher era, that philanthropy has been taken as an excuse to be able to
launder.
It's being used as a tool.
The social services, the Arts Commission, the National Public Radio, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting the budget it's applying for next year is the same as it was, I think, 7 years ago. So, and they keep threatening in the last federal budget, it was written in that it was going to be drastically defunded down to, instead of whatever it is, $400 million for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, it was going to go down to 17. And that did not pass because it's still a fairly popular institution, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and helps this station. We get money from them.
And speaking of money, let's thank Mo and Joe Blumenthal. They just donated to the station.
Thank you.
Inching us closer to our goal and our $100 matches.
Thank you, Mo and Joe.
Thank you.
Excellent.
You can be like Mo and Joe. You can dial 415-663-9050.
Do we still dial?
I guess that shows my age or something, right?
Button. You can button them.
I saw something on Facebook. It was these young guys trying to figure out what a dial phone was about.
How to use it,
They didn't know how to use it.
I know. So many changes.
I miss it, though. It felt kind of fun to turn that little dial, and then it made a cool sound as it rolled back. It was a Zen
experience as you waited for it to go back. Especially when you're dialing 911, you go 9.
Well, I think
1.
Well done.
Yeah.
Never mind, it's over.
The good old days.
So
Okay.
What would you call today? Pushing the button, or?
I guess you just say call.
Yeah.
Or phone.
Siri.
So the number is phone 415-663-9050.
To donate, to make a lovely pledge, to keep this station, this community radio station, and hard to find these days. There a lot of them are falling by the wayside.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a movement for Christian radio stations to grab a hold of all the bandwidth that isn't been used.
That was certainly the case when the station was founded. Yeah. They were actively going after public radio slots. Yeah. It was one of our great fears when we first started the station.
So keep us alive, or you're going to hear a firm foundation is the Lord.
Well, no, that's fine. Whatever it takes to make people generous, we will not. If that's what happens.
Sometimes we see generosity that shows up in people who are homeless, and they receive some generosity from someone, and then they turn around and share that generosity with others.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have anything; they get a little bit, and then they share it.
They share it out.
I think what I said though was ungenerous. So. I'll take that back.
What's up?
The firm foundation is the Lord.
Oh, I see. Well, so there was, again, the dark side. The massive relief agencies like Oxfam. There was a big scandal about Oxfam and the way they were using the money for their own ends, not necessarily for example, in Haiti after the earthquake, there was a huge outcry because they put all the people in camps, and they were not. Let's say the money and supplies were not necessarily getting through to people. Charities made it look like good was being done, whereas charities were actually helping keep people in involuntary servitude.
Well, charity is not. It's not about generosity. I don't think that the people that support the charity might be generous, but the business of charitable activities, I don't think that's generous. That's what they're put together to do. It's not. They're not going out to help Haitians because they're generous. Perhaps the people that support them are generous.
True.
So, yes, this radio station needs supporters. Otherwise, what happens? It might go away, and then we don't have the whole emergency system, and not to mention... Possible. I don't know. I just love listening to the radio station and getting surprised. Yes. Being surprised by what comes on. We're having a photo op here.
There's a photo shoot.
If you come into the station, you too can be in the in the photo. Stephen doesn't want to cooperate.
Well, no, I'm thrilled to get out of my seat and undo.
We can't hear you. Oh.
So we're having our picture taken. Here we go. La la.
Yaha.
All right.
Say KWMR.
Yes. Call 415-663-9050. And you too can be like Mo and Joe and donate to this station because the station can't be here without your support.
And,
How much if you want to be a member of the sock club?
Well, $50 will do that. And if we get another $50 donation, we will have met one of our $100 challenge grants.
And that will double the money. So
and we will
please,
have $200.
Please, people out there, you lovely listeners, we know you're
like
there. 415-663-9050. Uh-oh.
Oh, we have a visitor.
It's Allie Phillips.
Yes, visitor.
Well, I just wanted to chime in as the proud contributor of a $100 challenge grant.
That's right.
While
thank you for that.
Blowing my own horn, so to speak, which somehow sounds like I'm having a bodily function. So I take it all back. I have had the pleasure and honor of being a know-it-all who really knows nothing on this show many times, and it's such a pleasure to be here with all of you, Shelley and Stevie.
Thank you, Sally.
And Paul. And I want everyone to know out there, I want to incentivize your calling. These folks do a lot of homework and put their hearts and their souls into the show and to building community. This is a really unique show where you can call in and be heard on the air. And so the number to call right now to pledge your support, it's not the in-studio number that you would normally call. It's 415-663-9050. This is the other facet of this show, the greater facet, because it holds the whole community of KWMR and supports the whole community that allows this really unique, fabulous show to occur and to exist. 415-663-9050. And then there's just the pure vanity of somebody's got to call in because we need to get a $50 pledge right away to meet the $100 challenge grant that I have bestowed upon this glorious program.
That's right. And to join the Sock Club.
Be a member, go to the Sock Hop, the KWMR Sock Hop.
There you go.
I'm a member, and I have to tell you something. It is fabulous.
The socks?
Being
a member of the Sock Club?
Yes, being a member. Just the way you feel, the socks.
The way the socks feel.
If you like blue, You'll be very happy.
And if you like community radio, particularly West Marin Community Radio, your radio station, 415-663-9050. Get Creta. Creta wants to be on the horn. She wants to... Remember when they used to say, get him on the horn.
Get him on the horn.
Ring him up on the Amici. Just however you want to call it. Just call the station. You can talk to Creta. She's out there, and she's a programmer here, and she's also a board member of KWMR, and she would love to take your pledge, 415-663-9050, or online, kwmr.org. And thank you. I will now abscond.
Thank you, Sally. That was a lovely pitch.
Thank you for the, yes.
I have to say that Sally
encouragement.
Is Cynthia Marcucci of West Marin. Got to give her that credit.
What does that mean? I have no pictures coming to mind. I don't know what it means.
Cynthia
my
Marcucci.
God, I can't believe this.
You spend too much time listening to KQED.
I've grown up
not
with this
enough
woman. I have grown up with this
KWMR.
woman.
But listen, generosity.
Come down and get lunch.
Come down and get lunch. Yes, why don't you?
Yes, Creta says lunch is served.
Come to the station with the pledge in your hand.
What is it? Enchiladas and salad? Is that right?
Enchiladas and
yeah.
a wonderful green salad, or as Charles would say, misery green salad. But
Tell Charles it's the misery greens again.
Charles, did you hear that? It's the misery greens.
Misery greens. It's a lovely bowl of kale salad, and there may still be some leftover pastries from breakfast.
Bovine, it looked like.
Lovely bovine pastries. So please do call 415-663-9050. I know you're probably out there enjoying the sunshine and the sunlight. You can, of course, call anytime. You can also online. You can donate at any time and anywhere. So, it would be nice if you called today during this show, but that's fine. We understand you have other things to do.
If they did call today during the show,
yes,
we might do a little raise the roof. That would be exciting, wouldn't it? Do we have a caller?
I don't think so. Anyway, yes, and if you want to call and talk about generosity, 415-663-8492 is the in-studio number. And we have about a quarter of an hour to go. So.
Do you know Cynthia Marcucci? Call in.
Yes, because Stephen just can't explain it. We need somebody to explain it to us. Well, so far today...
She's the big gun. She's just the big gun at KQED fundraising.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Oh, yes. Well, so,
Does she have
there
tricks?
You go. KQED
gets
millions of dollars a year. All we're asking is a pittance compared with KQED, and yet the service we provide is tailored to this community. It's a wonderful little jewel of a stuff. Ooh, there goes a plate of salad.
I would say in many respects we are more... important to the community.
We are certainly up-to-the-date information when anything bad happens. And we're also a clearinghouse for information about events in the community. There is that too. But
speaking of events, KWMR is having a music show or a variety show fundraiser this coming weekend at the Dance Palace.
Oh, really? That's wonderful.
I don't have the details, unfortunately. But I know I think it's from 3 to 5 on Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. You'll have to...
That could be.
Trying to be helpful, but
that's
falling short. So, $50. We've got 15 minutes left. One $50 donation will allow us to meet Sally Phillips' challenge grant of $100. Get us a little closer to the goal. Right now, so far today, we've raised $1,295 towards our goal of $5,000 for the day.
Yeah.
But for this hour...
Only $50 so far.
Well,
we
need $950. Who's got it?
I'd like to say that...
Call in now.
I'd like to say that this is a very generous community.
Yes.
And all of us who donate to civic causes, including KWMR, we have a collective group of things we donate to generously.
Yeah,
and
I think
we want to adding KWMR KWMR. See, I'm saying KW. Cynthia, you've taken over my mind.
He's a dreamer.
We need to be added. You add us to that list. It brings your money back to the community.
Right. Your generosity is an act of generosity to the whole community by supporting KWMR.
Yeah.
So how easy is that? To feel good, right? Generosity helps us to feel good.
Yes, it does. It stimulates the endorphins. It tickles your pleasure center in your brain. And the root of the word generosity, which I thought was interesting, was, let's see, what was it? It is the root of noble birth. The Latin root of the word generosity means of noble birth. And that's what it came to mean, was that people who are generous may not be of noble birth, but they have a nobility about them because they are giving of themselves to others, and
that makes perfect sense.
And there is the scientific little there's the thing that happens to the brain when you do good things. You feel good about yourself, and so you want to feel good about yourself. Come on now, 415-663-9050.
$950.
$950 to go.
We can do this with your help, of course.
With 13 minutes to go, that would be
663-9050.
I think it takes a little time for people to
of course,
become generous. You put it in the back of your mind. You say, okay, I'm going to support this. You think about it. Okay, you're ready to pull the trigger. Pull the trigger.
Pull the trigger.
Interesting choice
of words. Metaphor. Of course, there are so many wonderful shows on KWMR. Maybe you're saving it for another show. Well, fair enough. But it's the early days of the pledge drive, and it's always a little nail-biting suspense at the beginning of these pledge drives to when things are not, when money is not exactly pouring in. You wonder if it's all...
I see. We're on day 3.
It's all going awry. But we are confident in the generosity of the community because we know there are generous
I'm looking at the Calendar Club list. There is it's quite an array of people who have given regularly on the Calendar Club. And one solid way to give to the station would be to up that Calendar Club $5, $10.
Yeah.
Yeah, you up it only by $2 and you get a Jaime Cresco handkerchief.
Little bandana.
What does that look like? I might want to.
Oh, it was the same as last year. It's basically a cartoon map of West Marin. Yeah. Done by a KWMR programmer, Jaime Crespo.
Well, I'm about ready to pull the trigger on that one.
Oh, good. He's going to do it.
Oh, we've got a model.
Oh, hey.
This is good. This is really good
right
radio.
Here. Okay.
Here it is.
I see.
Like that.
It sort of looks off-white. It's yellow.
It's yellow.
It's the most pale yellow that you can imagine. And the printing is black. It shows a hillside. Oh, the coastline of West Marin, a big sun rising in the background, and the locations of the radio stations. And then what does it say? On-air event.
I hate
promo.
to break it to you.
What?
That sun is going down.
What?
That's right. Well.
KWMR's homegrown West Community Radio. It's homegrown because it's the people who actually live here in the community who provide all the programming and keep the station running. And it's the people in the community like you and the animals, the people in the community like you who support this station that provides that generosity of spirit to the entire community so that we can have emergency, reports and
emergency
know what's
broadcasting,
going on.
Very important.
Yeah.
And something we're very good at. And yes, Richard Dillman is very good at patching things in and making them work. And in hard times, in times of emergency.
And there's also, I think, one of the programs here that is really special is the one that brings the young people in to, I think they get a half-hour show.
Youth DJs, yeah.
The Youth DJ program. It's such a great thing.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, they come on the radio. They play some music of their choice. They might announce a few things and
get to be on the radio.
That's right.
It's kind of
learn
cool.
how to
really cool.
It's pretty cool.
Learn the how to manage the
board. Well,
the board.
I'm not sure if they run the board.
No.
But
there have been some who have learned in the past, yes.
But you do have to learn how to talk into the mic, right, Stephen?
That's right. It's called sticking your nose in.
Yeah.
663-415-663-9050. We've got about 8 minutes left in the show. Please, at least another 50 would be fabulous. Then at least we've made one of our $100 challenge grants. That would be
say
great.
80
and Sally
80
would
and
feel
8.
happy, I'm sure.
How about 80 and 8?
80 and 8.
You're an interesting character, Stephen.
What does it mean?
Is this the third time we're saying that?
Pretty soon, hurry up. It's going to be 7 and 70.
What is this diet you're on?
Whatever combination you can come up with, we'd just love you to call in 415-663-9050 and donate to this fabulous station.
Be a local philanthropist.
Be generous to your community.
Put yourself in the position of being like the Rockefeller Foundation and all the other foundations, the Ford Foundation.
Yeah, and it only costs you $50.
And you can give us as much or as little as you like, as you can afford. Give us as much as you can afford. That's altruism, a wonderful thing, a moral practice of concern for happiness and welfare of other beings, resulting in a quality of life both material and spiritual for the giver. There you are. So you could feel more materially and spiritually content.
In Judaism, they would call this a mitzvah.
A mitzvah.
Yeah, and the greatest mitzvah is to do something anonymously.
Okay. Well, there you go then.
So you can call in anonymously and donate $950. Boom.
Mitzvah
there you go.
Means generosity
and no one
without
needs to know, and you'll feel so good.
May I add that we remind you that we have a $100 challenge grant from an anonymous donor. There's someone truly generous, not wishing anything in return, but to hear the radio station on the air. That's a wonderful thing.
Anonymous.
Pardon?
Oh, I was just having fun pronouncing anonymous a different way.
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Yes, we're, we are they're a hard-working bunch working in the station. There are a handful of part-time and full-time employees. Other than that, everyone's volunteering here. And, it takes time to put a show together, and but it's a wonderful thing to be on the air, to know that there are people out there listening to the information we give, even if we're wrong about everything we say on this show. Who knows? We're just putting ideas out there and hoping that people will call in. And, of course, you can call in still, 415-663-8492. We've got about 5 minutes if you want to say something about
share a story of generosity.
5 and 50.
Has someone ever been generous to you? I don't know.
Maybe, the generosity comes through you and you don't expect anything in return, but the reality and the truth is that there is a return on your generosity. Like we were talking about earlier, that surge of good feeling chemicals in your body, that you've really made the world a better place.
Mm-hmm.
And then
win-win. Then.
And donating to a station like KWMR, it expands the possibility of the station reaching even more people and staying on the air longer.
Yes, there are some upkeep costs here, and we have to keep all the antennas going and all the transmitters going, and we only hold 2 pledge drives a year, so and we're here. This station is on 24 hours a day, ready if anything nasty should happen. So for your safety, we're always on. And during the fires, for example, there were people here all night, just standing by for the latest news of the fires. And yes, it's a community resource, and it's a real jewel. It really is a jewel.
I think somebody is sitting by their phone right now, and they've got an extra $150.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and if they call 415-663-9050 right now, they could give it to us.
You don't need that weed whacker.
That's right.
You know, winter's coming. The grass isn't going to grow any longer.
This is when it does grow.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Maybe another item that you don't need. You don't need that extra, I don't know, diamond ring. You don't need that extension on your house. Come on.
Well, what you do need is a really great radio station in your community called KWMR. We all need it, and if you donate to support the station, you're also helping your community.
We know you give. Put us on the list. No, just include us.
Include KWMR on your list of your very generous giving. Because, yes, it is a resource. Maybe we haven't had enough disasters lately. You don't understand the value of it.
You know, this is the time of giving. At the end of the year, many people sort out their charities, who they want to give to.
Exactly.
Well, looks like we're about out of time.
We're about out of time. Well, thank you. Thank you,
But it's
listeners.
never too late to donate. 415-663-9050.
Yes, do it anytime at all. Call in, well, certainly while someone's in the studio anyway, during the day and into the evening, and anytime online. You can donate at any time. Thank you, Mo and Joe, for the generous donation. We appreciate that very much. And we'll be back next week with it'll be the day after the pledge drive, and we'll have wonderful news about how much
we got one more donation just in the nick of time. Thank you, thank you. Oh, my goodness. So much generosity.
Thank you.
We have met our 3 challenge grants. Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
We'll talk to you
We ended
next
up with
week.
$400. Fantastic.
All right.
That means that yes, that's right.
Okay.
$400.
We'll
Thank you so much.
say goodbye now. Thank you so much for listening.
Really appreciate that.
We really do appreciate it.